What's up, guys? Hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. I'm going to wait a couple minutes to get started. I just want to make sure everybody's good to go and we have no issues. Give people a couple minutes to get into the stream and we'll go from there. I hope everybody's having a fantastic morning, and we'll go over a little bit of market sentiment first. Because I want to make sure that you guys are, aware of what's going on in the market. I think it's extremely important today. What's up, LT? Hey, Santi. Some oldies there. Welcome, welcome. So I want to talk a little bit about the market sentiment before we really get started. We had some news coming out of China this morning. Yes, we are day trading on here. Don't worry, but I think this is really important. A little bit of the sentiment first. We had news coming out of China this morning that exports fell by 14.5%. From a year ago, and imports dropped by 12%. What does that mean? Well, immediately, if we look at the BABA chart, we can identify one chart right away that got hit because of that. We're down 3% pre-market. Isn't the timing just amazing? I mean, let's be real, guys. This timing coming into earnings this week, Baba's been on quite the roll. It's not great news, and we've sold off. We had the instant reaction, and this is what makes me a little bit nervous here, is we had our instant reaction. So this is where we're at 3 p.m. my time, 4 p.m. Eastern. We opened up around $95. We're down to $93.59. We're still sinking. Really something we need to be aware of. Of course, it could set up for great positions for earnings. But, to me, it's one that is really became sketchy coming into earnings. So we just need to be very careful. All right. So anyway, before we start with our charts, we want to live trade. Let's look at the top runners. We got BURU. VVOS, this is an oldie. This is a goodie right here. VVOS and drug are two. CHGG, GRRR, Silo. These are all ones we really like trading. One just really quick that I was looking at is BURU. This one's very interesting. And I was looking at for an entry here. If we break and hold over 230, I really do like this to test that 250 again for almost 10%. There. So again, that break of 230, I really do like on BURU, but I know why you're here. Let's get to our options. All right, so we're in chart the SPY first. We do have a nice little 3-bar right here on the 1 minute. You know the routine. We're going to pop on that 15-minute. Look at 2 weeks here. I've got a lot of levels drawn on this chart, but I want you guys to identify what I'm looking at, so we're going to start fresh here. All right, and we don't need our RSI for what we're doing right now. So we're looking at our levels. I always like to look at 2 minutes, two weeks on the 15-minute, identify the major zones. All right, we know that's where we start. So let's put our major lines we're looking at. And we're actually sitting kind of at a pretty major area here. As you can see, this area immediately catches my attention because aside from that massive sell-off we had Friday, we gapped up, opened above this area here, and we're hanging out there right now. So are we going to actually come down and finally, I guess pre-market you could say we did fill the gap from that Friday low, but we're really hanging on by a thread here, guys. This 446.27 is major, and in fact, even higher than that. I'm going to say that if we lose 447 again, we're going to come down to that 446. So that's going to be my first level for a trade right here is at 447 stone cold even. All right, the loss of this level here, let's give it 446.90. Give it a little bit. That's my put entry. Without obviously our first target on that one's going to be that low. And it doesn't seem like a lot, Amy, that's only 75 cents, but on a 0 DTE, 1 DTE, that's your 30%. So that's what we're looking at right away is this loss of that level here. Second thing we immediately see is this trend channel. So we're going to pop a line across this, all right, where we have these wick highs for the 15-minute. And this is kind of what we're looking at too, that break and hold of this area. All right, so what other levels do we have? We obviously have identified 3 levels on the bearish side immediately right here. And coming back from that, I'm not going to wicks here. I'm going to go to these candle bodies. This is around my area right here. I'm going to look at for if we could pick up this area at this wick high from us, our 7 o'clock candle my time, I think that we could push up to where we open up pre-market. So I'm going to give this our bullish entry. And of course, we'll be trading this live. I just like to give you guys the entries immediately. We're going to give that as the bullish entry up to here as our target. Targets, I'm going to dot so you guys could identify them because that's our target on the bullish side. This is our target on the bearish side. Obviously, our stop losses are going to be less than our targets here. So we know our stop loss would be this line. So entry on our put level of 446.90, our stop loss would be a candle break and hold over 447.40. So we got about a 40-cent stop loss there. So these are the areas we're looking at right near. And then obviously this is me my no-no zone where I'm not going to take a trade in this box unless we come up and test the upper end of this box or the lower end of this box. So that's my non-touch on my area I really don't want to touch. And then past that, obviously, we come break over that 450, which is a major level. We're looking at this high from, oops, I didn't mean to do a vertical. I meant to do a horizontal there. Sorry, guys. We're looking, obviously, at this for target 2. And then on the downside, I mean, we really don't have a target 2. A break and a loss of that 446.25, and we really do have some major downtrend action going on, and we'd have to go and let's pull up the hour chart so we could really identify our next level here, because this is a loss of that wick low. Then I mean, honestly, 444 is my area I'm looking at. That's our next pickup zone here. So that's like our do or die level. We're gonna make it a red dotted. So that's like our secondary target there, and then our secondary target on the upside is going to be here. And again, we'll make it dotted and we'll make it green. So those are the levels we're looking at. But we play these two ways, and you guys both know this as well. Anyone who's been on these streams with me knows as well that we're also looking at these areas for support pickups. So if we take a nice strong bounce off this area here, I would like calls off the bounce. Or if we get rejected up here at this area, I would like the puts off that area. So we're going to watch that as well. But we've got our green lines established, our red line established, and our target lines established for the SPY for our first part of the trade. Targets 1 and 2 as well. So going from there, there we go. Dotted lines are targets. You guys know that. All right, there we go. All right, so let's pull up a couple other charts that we are interested in. One that we've been trading a lot and looked very bullish yesterday, of course, is Google. One I'm kind of keeping an eye on right now. Interesting. I mean, a lot of these charts, and I say this all the time, we don't like when all the charts look alike. That means we're pretty bearish. That means the market's weak. We want to see these charts trading on their technicals, not on a sentiment of the market. So, you know, everybody, we need to just be really careful of that. And it's just, to me, it says a lot. This is the area I'm looking at here. So on our 5 minute, let me pop on the 15 minute. I prefer that. So here's our put area, obviously. A break and a loss of 130.30. And we're looking pretty meager at that point. That would be my put entry. When I say break and hold, I want to see a candle open and close below that line. We're not taking these wicks. We're taking the actual open and close below that line. All right, so that 130.30 is what I'm looking at here. And then on the upside, I mean, if we can test the 130.170 area, we can come up and obviously test the 132.23, which is about 60 cents or so. Nothing great, but a reasonable day trade level. I don't really want to take anything in this area here unless it is a bounce off our red and a push, and vice versa. We've got about 6 minutes till market open here. As you can see, ugly, unfortunate news. We're right across the board. I'll go over swing trades over in the Discord. I'm not going to go over those now. Play your stop losses. Keep them tight. Okay, Amy, I hate playing downside. I'm better at playing upside. What are we looking at? So we want to look at our Walmarts, our Targets, oil perhaps. Let's check these. So Walmart is one that's overperforming the market in general because the market has sold off and Walmart is only down about 1/3 of a point. This is one I do have a swing call on at this level. This is one we need to hold where we're at. We broke over this area here, and we unfortunately slipped back into that area. But really what I'm looking at is that support pickup right here, because if we pop on our trusted old fibs from our low to our high, you can see we did come down and we tested our area that we really wanted to see the support. We wanted to see the support pick up right in this area here. So that is happening, but that is one I would watch today. Another one is PG, Procter Gamble. And these are low-key chill charts. They don't move as volatile for the most part. Obviously, we don't on a 4-hour for day trading. So Procter Gamble would be another one. If we could get a break and a hold over 156.20, we might get a really nice area. I don't want my extended hours on for this, to be honest. So 157 break and hold. 157, let's say 157.20. If we break and hold that and start getting that bullish momentum action, I would like a call on that. Not really looking put-wise on this one because, again, this is one that if we test that fibs, we are around that 25% retracement where we would want to see our bounce. We talk about this all the time, that 25% and our golden fibs. Those two areas are so important. We picked up our 25% bounce right here. So that break back over 157.15, let's give it 157.20 just to make sure that we give it enough. The break and hold of that area, I would like calls on PG. So that's another one, as you can see, much less red on these two. And of course, you guys know as well as I do, we could legitimately open up today and absolutely rip. That's why I gave bullish and bearish levels for Google and SPY. I'm not touching BABA personally. I don't want to touch it at all. So when we see where we open up at the SPY, we will go from there. But I'm just not really wanting to play BABA at all. I think the options are moving terribly coming into earnings. They're like stuck in molasses. They don't give you the push you want to see. So let's check Tesla finally, and we will go from there. Turn back on that extended. And a little bit of the same. Tesla's picking up some support here. Loss of pre-market low. Loss of 246. You know, with a hold. Remember the with a hold. That candle open and close back below that level. If we lose that level, and in fact, I'm going to give it a little more on this one. I'm going to say the loss of 245.35. If we lose that, I think that we come to our wick load yesterday. So that's what I'm looking at on this one. That's the area I'm looking at. So you've got a riskier and a safer entry on this one. Your riskier trade is going to be the loss of 245. Your safer trade is going to be the loss of 246, excuse me. Your safer trade is going to be the loss of 245.30. So we technically do have 2 points here. But the first one, you have to be aware we could get some support pickup in this area here. We do have an H-shaped kind of continuation playing out a little bit on the 5-minute here, something to definitely watch. Tesla overall has been a little bit bearish. Of course, a lot of these did pick up some pretty major support along the way. One more line that I am noticing here as far as a target line would be this trend line right here. So that's pretty major to me because I do see a little bit of a descending wedge going on here that I'm going to keep an eye on. These 2 lines here, and I'll delete a couple more of these lines. Those are old target lines from previous trades, obviously. So those are the areas I'm looking at. And then on the bullish side for Tesla is going to be the break at 250.50. That's where I'm looking at with the break and hold, of course. But that's what I'm looking at, that break and hold of 250.50, and my target's going to be 253. Actually, 252.60. That's going to be our first target for, and again, these are scalps. Our continuations are going to be past those areas. That's going to be our riskier area. Our safer entry is going to be that break and hold at 252.75. And at that point, I'm looking at us to come up and fill to the pre-market high yesterday. So that's our levels we're looking at. We got about 1 minute until market open. What's up, everybody? You two are silly. Let's get some comments. How are you guys doing here? All right, and we'll get going from there. We'll watch these areas as the market opens. Of course, I want my minute chart on because I like to see my candles. You could play your minute chart, 2-minute chart, 3-minute chart. They're all impulsive, and they all don't mean much right at market open, and they do all overreact. So I'm not going to say you should be on a 2-minute, a 3-minute, whatever it might be. You should be on whatever you can play. And we'll wait and see what happens here. Market is open, watching our time and sales, and the volume's going to be the key the first few minutes here, of course. We know this box is the box we're really not wanting to trade within, unless, of course, it bounces off the lows of these boxes. We know our entries. Let's make them a little thicker so y'all can see them on the screen here. And again, these are high risk. Anything the first half hour is high risk. We know that, guys. I'm going to pull up my Thinkorswim and my Robinhood ready to buy. I let you know every buy and sell I take. All right, so Tesla's got a nice bullish candle here. Nice impulsive candle. I don't really want to touch it in this area here. You guys know my entries. Actually, my bullish entry I'm going to pull down. With the way this first minute candles perform, I'm going to pull it down to 249.75. Break and hold, not an impulsive candle. I'll let you know what I'm watching with that one if we get the setup I'm looking for. So look at this. Walmart, Procter & Gamble. Procter & Gamble immediately is breaking over our entry price. I'd love to see a retest candle here. And then the push. However, for those Procter & Gamble options, what do we like here? I like they've got a wide spread on these. We really do have to be careful. We go 157.5 first contract out of the money. You cannot get the 160, but the 157.5, go to the median or the last and try to fill around there. So 85 cents would be our 157.5. If you're going to try to fill 85 to 90 cents on that one. We are breaking that level. I like to see that. Again, that was Procter & Gamble, first contract out of the money, weeklies around 85 to 90 cents. I am not taking that one personally because I need to watch the quicker moving charts. And there's Walmart ripping. What do we say? What if we're bull? If we play upside, what ones do we want to look at? And both of them immediately flipped green at market open. Doesn't mean it will continue, but it's definitely interesting. So Google's having a little push as well. We know our levels there. And that's the only charts I'm pulling up is Tesla, Google, and the SPY while we're here, guys. We're going to watch those three charts in general. We're going to make this big. We want to see every candle here. So we want to see that volume. If we're looking on the bull side, we really want to see that volume maintained 500K over the next couple minutes. I think that's really important to the livelihood of the trade in general. Walmart is ripping pretty good. It's up almost 3/4 of a point, or so up 1.1 points right now, 0.75%. Beautiful, beautiful. If you took that entry, we have Walmart swing calls, so we're good to go on that. I'm not overly concerned. PG's kind of hanging out sideways, and Google's making a nice little play here. Obviously, we're not going to take a call after a 3-bar setup here, but 131.70 is our bullish entry. We know what we want to see. We want to see the retest. We want to see us come up and over this area and either come back down and retest, or the next candle open and close above that area. We don't jump in ahead of time. We have no confirmation on this trade yet, guys. We're literally just watching. We could be extremely range bound on the SPY right now today. We don't force trades. We're just watching to see what happens on these. Netflix is turning green. That one's interesting to me. I've got a line at 442.31. Let's see what that's from. All right, so this one is actually interesting right here. I do like it. Let me back up a little bit more, see what we've got going on here. All right, so that break and that hold of 442 is really what I'm looking at. The next break and hold we get a 442, I do like as a bullish entry here. I really like it as a bullish entry with 445.30 as our possible target. That one looks very strong out the gate. I like what it's doing here. So the secondary break and hold, let's say over 442.20, we're going to give it a little bit. 442.25 break and a hold. That's the price we got. 442.25 break and a hold. I want to pop back on that 15-minute. That would be our high of yesterday plus some buffer. All right. So we're not taking anything before that. That's what struck our fancy and we're looking at because of previous levels. SPY's still a little bit sideways, and Google pulled back a little bit after that impulsive pop at market open. Baba's just a nasty 15-minute first candle, so I don't want to touch that. The contracts aren't going to give us what we're looking for the risk. The risk reward does not make sense for me on Baba today. All right, hold on one second. Take a drink of water. Everybody's so quiet in here other than LT. No surprise. All right. So again, sideways trading. We're not forcing anything. We're sitting in between these two zones on Tesla. We're sitting in between the two zones on Google, and we're sitting between these two zones on our SPY. So just kind of much ado about nothing on those three. And I will update. Let me check. I want to check our Walmart really quick. See if we're still red. We were a little bit red last night. No, Walmart. Okay, I'm up about 15% on our Walmart. I'll take it. We're up 10% on our Disney calls. We're up 40% still on our final Boeing. Not bad, not bad. Robinhood's down 5%. Nike's red as well. All right, so we got a little sell-off candle here on the SPY. I want to wait and see what happens at a loss of 447.30. I might possibly like a SPY put into our entry level. So a little scalp from this area down to the red. We'll see what happens over the next couple minutes though. Yeah, a little very boring. Again, we're not forcing trades. If we can't find a trade, we can't find the trade, and that's okay. We have our predetermined levels on these three trades, and we're not going to stray from that. But I will say that the SPY does look overall bearish at the moment. We'll see what happens, though. We didn't get immediate dump off, and a lot of times when we do sell off through pre-market, we end up getting a little bit of a pop at market open. So just kind of watching these levels. All right, so Netflix is coming close to our level. One thing to be very careful about with Netflix, we have a spread on these, about 3 to 4%. I would go 455. I wouldn't go much lower than that. 455 is what I'm going to buy if I buy. They're at about $2 right now. Again, the closer to money you get, the more you are protected with your delta. And it said, no, we're just not hitting that level. So false alarm. Couldn't push it up. All right, so now on our minute chart, I'm going to watch this little wedge we've got going on. Of course, this is going to break quickly. We just want to see what happens if we're going to continue to sit in this little area of consolidation. Volume is holding up the last few minute candles, which we want to see. All right, so Tesla's selling off. We've got our predetermined levels here. We're still just kind of waiting. It's not like last week where we got to jump in those SPYs within about 6 or 7 minutes and have really great entries. Just things are really kind of. Disney is overall green. I do like that. We already are in a Disney trade here, but this to me is very telling coming into earnings. We might get a little pop today. The contracts don't move great though. All right, so with Disney, a secondary break over this high a day, I do like. FYI, guys. Because that would break over high a day yesterday too. It's a pretty heavy area of resistance. Right about where we're coming up to now. So that break and hold at 82.30, I do like for a bullish Disney entry. Again, we're already in the trade in the Discord. I didn't mean to do that. I meant to do the line. So that's one more that I will say I do like the setup on. Is this Disney? We'll wait and see what happens, of course, because we're getting a lot of impulsive candles and not much anything else. A lot of sideways trading. PG's pulling up back a little bit. Walmart is too, which could mean the market's going to start pushing up a little bit. All right, so we've got a new trend line we're seeing on Google here. Nice impulsive candle. It's a big candle here. Let's see what happens over the next minute or two. Because another break over 131.50. I think we pushed that 131.70 pretty easily. So watch those two levels. This 2-bar setup. Not a setup, but those 2 bars. SPY is selling off our last bounce point on Tesla and the SPY. All right, it's bouncing exactly kind of where we want to see it bounce. So at this point here, I'm just going to watch for the next couple of minutes. We're not going to get caught in a shit trade. Pardon my French. Let's see. Let's compare 5-minute volume today from yesterday. We've got about 1.8. Just want to see compared to yesterday. 2.1. So our volume's down about 12% versus yesterday. I'm going to delete this line here. And I know, I'm sorry guys, I know it's a little bit boring, just not really going to jump into these trades. It just because. So we're just being patient here. Very range bound, very sideways on these three. I'm going to scroll through, see if the MicroStrategy is up 2%. That's pretty interesting. We got a lot of red here. I'm just going to pop through these charts, see if anything strikes my my eye. All right, so United Healthcare is absolutely ripping at this point. That's pretty interesting here because it obviously broke past our 25% retracement here. So this is definitely one to watch. I'm not going to necessarily put a contract out and give you guys entries right now. AMC had earnings and had a nice little pop and immediately sold off. We're not touching that with a 10-foot pole. And that's about it. Some days are just those kind. All right, so we're coming close to our Tesla bull bear entry here. If we take the trade, I'm personally going to go with the 235s. They're at $1.18 right now. They're 235s. They're at $1.18 right now. I am not in the puts. I'm just giving you the contract. Obviously, that price will change. I'm just giving you the contract. I'm not in the trade. We did not hit our entry level. I just want to give you guys ahead of time which level it is. I repeat, we did not take that trade. We did not lose that level. SPY as well, bouncing off pretty major area here. This was a support bounce for a good part of pre-market today. Not a major area, but a area to note. Let me pull up. Sorry, guys, I'm pulling up my... Making sure I have my Robinhood contracts up, ready to go, and Thinkorswim, which are the two I use. I'm not a Webull fan, but a lot of by previous activities, a lot of people used Webull, so I got used to doing my live streams with Webull. That's the main reason we are doing that. All right, so Tesla had a major pickup, just a few cents above our entry, which was a pre-market bounce. So we're gonna watch and see what happens in this level here. Pretty interesting for calls, and actually, if we break and hold 247.65, I might consider a call entry. I'm not there yet. We're waiting and seeing what happens. But that was a strong bounce off of pre-market low, which would be typically a possible bullish entry, but we need to wait for the retest. And all right, there we go. So on the bullish side, I like the 260 and the 255. They're at $1 and $2 right now. And these are just the contracts. These are not me and I taking entries. I'm just giving you guys the contracts. So like at 260, 255, 250. All three will work. And we're just kind of stuck in a little bit of a sideways action right now on the charts we chose to watch. Google's definitely range bound. SPY's getting a little bit bearish right here. So on SPY, if we go bearish on the SPY, like the 447.98 cents, 447 put 98 cents, I'm grabbing two. I'll let you know when I fill. And I'm filled. All right. 1 second. I am multitasking here. That was quite an impulsive candle. I'm going to sell 2 of my 10 immediately. I know that's moving fast. I didn't expect that candle to push down that quickly. So, apologies for that. I know we're on a delayed stream right now. I did fill 2 for $1.02. Unfortunately, I really wanted to see that pushed out over 3 or 4 bars, not immediate like that. So there we go. We want the second bar down right here. I'm up 12%. And I know there's a delay as well, but we are getting a nice sell-off here. All right, 95 cents to $1.09, $1.08, around that area here. Selling 2 more, gonna fill, trying to fill. I filled at 113, sold 2 more. I have half my contracts left here at $1.13 from my 95-cent fill. Again, 95-cent fill, $1.13. About 20%. There we go. Come on. There's 25% right there. I'm going to sell 2 more. Filled, $1.15. And now for my final 2, my stop loss is going to be a candle open and close above our initial put entry. So at this point here, we're looking at our 446.60 as a secondary target. 446.60, and I will sell my final contracts if we open and close up above this price here. That was a heavy 3-car sell-off. I'd love to see resistance here. I would love to see resistance right at our red bar. And then if we do see resistance for people that did not get in on that those 2 candle sell-off here, 3 candle, I would like entry again below 446.75. We want to see that resistance right here. Yes, anything is okay as long as you're within a couple strikes of expiration here. But the biggest thing is, especially if you're doing 0 DTEs, if it starts to go the wrong way like it is right now, selling quick. Don't be scared to sell at break even. For me personally, I can't tell anyone else what to do, but I'm not scared of selling at break even and coming back into a trade at all. You know, we're still at $1.04 here, a contract. I'm still up 10% exactly right here. We want to see the resistance right here and come further down. This is exactly what we want to see. We want to see that resistance and the next flush down right here. But as long as you are, for anyone trading options contacts, for me personally, I don't like to go further than 1 out of the money. Up to 2, unless you're going out further. If you're going out Friday or something like that, you could go a little further out of the money. Anyone doing 1 or 2 DTE, I don't go more than 1 strike out of the money. There we go. There's the sell-off we're looking for. Beautiful. Let's go. There's $1.20 we just hit on these contracts. Very nice. For about 28%. And now we really do, now that we have swept that low again, I really do want to see us flush down to that 446.25 level. That's ideally what we would love to see here and get a nice home run, not just. And now, so for trade invalidation, you can see we did have a higher high on this candle here, but our body stayed below it. We know our stop, I'm putting my stop loss back to break even here. That's what we're trying to do. We're over 30% now. Beautiful. I'm selling 1 more here. Oops, sorry guys. All right, I just filled 1 more, $1.22. Just a couple left, and we're now at $1.25. We're up about 35% right here. Beautiful. Even those that with the delay got in a little later than me, you should be up very nicely here. There's our dump. Are we going to come down and hit our target? That's 40%. Over 40% on that wick right there. If I am in a small account and I only have 1 contract, these are the type of candles I personally sell on. Let's go. That's what we wanted to see. Beautiful. 60% right there. We stuck to our plan. We knew exactly where we wanted to abandon the trade. We got 1 candle. Didn't even close the body above that, our initial entry. Even if you waited for initial entry, we had a beautiful 4-bar sell-off here, and we're still going. Let's go. Almost 70% right there. Down to one contract. Down to one contract. We're going to let this one run, baby. Oh, hold on. I'm so excited I just dropped my mouse. Yes, I have emotions while I trade. I'm a human being. I can't trade like a robot. I don't know about you, but I still make money pretty substantially, pretty frequently. Nice 70%, 75% right there. I'm down to one. Stop loss at break even. If SPY wasn't your jam, I'm pretty sure Tesla sold off too. Yes, so Tesla sold off. We hit entry and target one on Tesla as well. Google's just kind of hanging out. Google's a little stronger. This is one to watch. If the market turns around, Google's the one to watch to outperform the SPY, guys. It's a little stronger here. So we're going to go back to our SPY chart and go from there. Anyone who has a smaller account that was maybe only in one or two. For me personally, if I had a small account, I would be out here. I'm not giving up profits like that. However, if you are in multiple contracts like myself, I scale out in a slower way. Sorry, when I flip screens on my other monitors, it's messing this one up. I'm sorry, guys, because I'm flipping between 3 screens so I can make sure I see the comments too. I need a 4th monitor. All right, there we go. Love it. Love to see this candle right here. This is kind of what we wanted to say. Love it, Snowflake. Exactly. Like we know what we're looking for. And, you know, having a plan ahead of time, we had our plan, but also being able to improvise. And like, you know, right here, I saw that it was quite bearish and I did buy a candle early. And that's where, you know, a little bit of more advanced trading comes to play. But even the initial plan of waiting for that candle to close below our red line, we still ended up with the 4 bars here for an easy 50% or so. So, you know, just having a plan, sticking to it, knowing no matter what at this point, last contract I have set at break even, I don't even have to worry. And even if you bought weeklies, you made a nice 25 to 30% on that. Anyone who bought any of those levels still looks pretty bearish at this point. We did hit target. We hit our target of 446. I think it was 25, something like that. I can't remember where I draw that line from, but we did hit it. We could get a little retracement here. So that's what we're looking at for continuation here. I personally always look for a retracement first. Which is where we're kind of testing right now. We hate Webull because Webull undoes our settings always, but we're in 25% there. So 446.65 is the level I'm personally looking at here. And one candle breaking above it doesn't negate it. And then I'm going to also draw a box in our pocket, our golden pocket, 50 to 61% right there. We're getting rid of our no-no zone because we already have broken out of that. It is not applicable. All right, so these two levels, that's what I'm looking at for my continuation. If I flip to calls, so on and so forth. Our 25% retracement, which I always make purple, is right where we're at. That's too dark. That's hard to see on the screen share. There we go. So we want to see the rejection here for continuation down. If we don't, I'm not touching calls at all between the 25% retracement and the 50% retracement. So this box here is red. This means I will only play downside. I'm not trading against the grain in that box. I'm only trading with the grain right here. We want to see rejection here for continuation. If we see rejection here and we start sweeping that low, love it. A lot of people will play the counter trend, the 25%. That's great. I play it all the time too. I just didn't do it this trade. Not really, you know, it was a little sketchy at market open here. I like the volume. 1 minute is, our volume is decent here. So if we pop on the 3-minute chart, that was heavy volume on that sell-off. That was authority. That was an authoritative sell-off. Sustainable, uptrending volume right there. Love it, Justo. You got it. I love it, love it, love it. So we like this volume, all right? And then we lost our volume. We had a bullish candle. So right now the high volume is indicative of sell-off. So we want to see that volume start to come in, and we want to lose this bottom pretty quickly. We want to stay below that zone. These are the zones we're looking at. And again, I'm not playing the counter trend between our 25% retracement and our 50% retracement. There's better trades out there for me to trade other than that. So that's just my personal preferences there, not to do that. The market's all trading together. Tesla took a heavy bounce there. Remember, we're still watching this Tesla. I'm going to pull this up actually. I'm looking at the Tesla above. This is not a horizontal line. Why won't that delete? There we go. So what I'm looking at on Tesla is this area. These are no longer valid either. All right. 247.70 is the area I'm watching on Tesla. We'll see what happens around there. Looks like the SPY is getting 25% rejection. We want to see that. SPY getting rejection while Tesla is pushing has been kind of the theme of the last couple months. I mean, truly, we've seen SPY and Tesla quite opposite quite often. Quite opposite quite often. Obviously, Tesla's not part of the SPY. Just saying in general, it's something we've seen a lot with the trend is, you know, them not necessarily trading together, and Tesla behaving like a meme stock. Tesla ripping on bearish days, so on and so forth. Just Tesla being Tesla, guys. You know, so it's just interesting here. So we could see on this 3 minute, if we pop on the 1 minute, we had a little bit of a descending wedge on Tesla. So what I would watch at this point is that. Come down, retest that area here, see what happens at that point. Google's a little sideways, and SPY's still quite bearish. SPY is still quite bearish for another pump. So if we lose our 446.09, what's next? I think we drew another. Yeah, we're way down at 444 at that point. I mean, this is the lowest we've been at in how many weeks? How many days here? Let's see. Since back in about a month. Yeah, we're the lowest we've been in about 4 weeks here, guys. This is a pretty big deal where we're definitely pulling back. If we pop on the daily, we're nowhere near 25% retracement. So remember that, guys. Sell-off does not mean bear market. If we were realistic and popped a fibs on this thing, we would have to pull back to... Let's see, this isn't on. All right, let's put this under 25%. I mean, we still consider it uptrend, even if we pull back to 438.88. That's kind of my D-Day level. All right, so we've got quite a ways to go till there. And I'm going to actually mark this with a purple line, so we got it. So I could delete this, fibs. All right, so that's our long-term bearish target, 438.88. Big rejection there, right at our 25% retracement. That's how you know. That's our first level of defense of continuation versus reversal is 25% retracement always, always. And I don't care who it is. I'm never, ever in my whole life, ever, going to justify holding a 0 DTE or a 1 DTE more than 30, 40, 50% down. Re-enter a trade. I don't believe that is a way of being a sustainable trader. I personally cut quick and will buy back in even quicker. I have no problem doing that. It's just something for me personally in the way I trade. All right, it's a big pickup at this doubled bottom here. We did not sweep these lows, so we have not liquidated the positions that are set right below our low a day. All right, so that's kind of the level we're looking at now. That was a heavy bounce candle to be expected with higher lows. So we need to pay attention to that. Of course, you guys know one contract left. We had a nice 70% trade. And that was with cutting out a lot of risk. A lot of people like, oh, selling off's in the top. I could have 300% if I just bought those puts here. It didn't make sense. You know, like I'll take half the profitability and cut 75% of the risk. I'm going to be patient to take these trades. And as much as I might sound hype or impulsive and I get excited when we take a winning trade, half of that is entertainment for you guys because I want you guys to enjoy trading with me. I think if you're here and you're watching, you love trading. But the other part of that is legitimately, you know, me being a cautious trader. I'm not going to take those put entries up here because this risk reward wasn't there for me. So we need to sweep this lower low here for continuation for sure. We're at 9 o'clock now. Let's see what this impulsive 9 o'clock candle brings. 10 o'clock Eastern. Usually this is a higher volume impulsive candle. We could see this candle immediately right here blast up to our initial entry at 447. We could see this rip all the way down to 446 immediately. We didn't get that instant impulse on the 9 o'clock candle, which is a little surprising. The 9 o'clock candle has been quite volatile lately. I've seen contracts move 50, 60% on that 1 minute candle. So we're definitely, all right, so we popped below that low. All right, so this is an interesting level here that we're sitting at. So if I'm not in puts and I'm looking for a put entry, I want to see this happen. I want to see us liquidate this bottom, come back up and retest without going higher than this line right here. And then when we lose that level again, I'm taking my entry right here. If I'm not in the trade, that's my entry right here. And we already know I've got stop loss, break even, final contract. 25% retracements are purple. Red is not. I will not enter a bullish trade in the red box. And then this is our golden pocket retracement. Those are the levels I got. And going from there. It gets a little boring sometimes. Boring is good though. Boring means we made money and we're not is sitting in anguish. If you're not bored in a trade and it's a 0 DTE, it either means you've already locked a lot of profits or the trade's going the right way. The second I start to feel anxiety in a one-day trade, I know something. If I start to get that anxious, clench my cheek feeling, I'm going against my trading plan in some way or another. And I need to look at that. All right, so this is more a little channel trade now. I'm looking at this channel here. On TSLA, see what happens. We already know our bullish entry, breaking hold of that 247.75. Walmart's starting to sell off now. We're not at put entry yet. Check the 5 minute. And SPY's just, bouncing. We could be range bound for the next little bit here. I know it's only been like 45 minutes. I'm not going to hold everybody hostage on YouTube. So in about 10 minutes, we're going to pop on over to the Discord and finish our trader stage over there. Every Tuesday, we trade live on YouTube. And come join, even if you're not totally convinced to have a paid membership, there's so much free stuff given away too. Come check us out for yourself. It links in the description and I'll pop it in the chat right now because we give stuff away. We have trials that pop up. We have the trading stage. We'll have it free some days it's premium. There's always things to check out there. And if anyone is interested in joining, if you want to DM me via Discord, you can. Here is the Discord link as well for anyone that is not aware of it. I'll pop it in the chat. But every day there is there. Okay, so there, that voids right there, that secondary push over at 25%. If this candle closes above it, that voids the bearish right now. So there's our link for the Discord. Come check us out, free or otherwise. Nice, that's awesome. And yeah, DM me as well. Request me as a friend. Anyone who wasn't friends with me or we don't have like Discords, request me as a friend. Find me on Twitter. DM me on Twitter. Twitter link is in the description as well. There's ways to find me, guys. You know, reach out to me. I won't be the one reaching out. That's just the reality of it. But come reach out to me. You're more than welcome to at any time. So we're all right. So that candle did not open and close above that 25% retracement, but you get your theta decay. This is why we lock those contracts. This candle here is when we talked about if I was only in one contract, I would lock it up. This is why. How much we gave up. Even when we come back to this price here, a contract that was 70% here at this wick low is going to be 55% here. That's why we lock it up. That's why we don't mess around with those 0 DTEs. But yeah, I'm going to, at this point, we're going to pop on over to the stages over at Honeycomb Options. And for anyone that, again, I put the link in the description. Tesla broke high a day. Oh, well, if anyone took the Tesla entry, obviously I missed it. But if you took the Tesla entry, there was quite the 3-bar setup there for Tesla. Obviously, we missed entry. I personally missed entry. I did not take these calls. This is a secondary chance, though. We are at our initial call entry right here and hitting resistance, which is this area right here. So once we break over it, it will be a second entry. Nice, LT. That's awesome. That was a beautiful push right there. So another break, a secondary break above 249.80. I like Tesla again for call entry. We want to be safe, though. We want to see us test out of this area here, come back, retest it, take our calls. Same thing. We always want to wait for the retest. I will miss an entry on a trade because it didn't retest and eliminate half that risk than to always take entry immediately at that area and keep my risk heightened. I will take smaller profits, smaller risk any day. We have to do that when we're trading weeklies. We can't overexpose the risk when we're already kind of overexposing ourselves with the contracts we're taking. So we need to have extra risk to bypass we need to be extra safe with our actions behind our trade entries because that's the only way we're going to mitigate the risk of being in 0 DTEs. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's my personal plan. So if Tesla just was to rip here, we knew our entry, but if it was just to rip here all the way up to our target 2 at 250, 265, it already hit target 1. Or if it would hit our original target 1, oh well. I want to see that retest and that secondary push, because I want to eliminate as much risk as I can. We like the volume here. This 5-minute volume is sustainable. We got that nice volume push. We need it to come back in. So we need this 1-minute volume over 500K. That's what we really, really want to see here. So we want that 277, 250, 249.75. Really, I mean, this is exactly what we want to see for that continuation right here. But we need to break back over that green line again. And if we do that and we hold, I'm looking for that 250, 265 target. We're not there yet. And SPY is bouncing off that 25% retracement. Of course, this is a decent SPY call entry up to our 50% retracement here and possible continuation. I, however, am not choosing to take that entry. So Tesla's going to be a little bit undecided here. We know our entry. I'm going to end the stream. LT, that's awesome. Glad you took 20%. Snowflake, another ninja, Life with Justo. All you guys rock. I am going to pop on over to the Discord. Link is in the description there. And I'll see you guys over there at the stage. Anyone who's not a member, find me. I'm on Twitter. DM me, friend request me. There's ways to get in touch. Love you all. See you next Tuesday. Peace out.